Oh my goodness, it's been like at least 1.5 years since this thing's been in here. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, it's been forever.
Look at this mess that we gotta clean up. One day, this is gonna be a fast drag car. Yeah, we finally pulled the actual motor out of it that we got with it when we bought it. Alright, we're back, and look at this! At the end of the video I said Honda stuff. And we got Honda stuff. If you guys haven't been following me for very long, you could go way back in the videos and you can find the Panda Hatch stuff. Me and Panda bought this car a while back. Well, he bought it, you know, but the goal was to try to, you know, get it ready to be an actual race car. We never had any intentions to really street drive it or anything like that. Just race car. So the first thing we did was roll cage it and work on some of the interior stuff, and then we started buying all the parts needed to make a race car. Well, the craziest thing happened. So after we started buying like all these parts, how do we say this nicely? Panda had some stuff come up in life, like a job change and moved his house and a few things. So we had to kind of take a break on it. But now things are going better again, and we are able to reconvene this project. So that's the best way I can put it, basically. And I couldn't be more excited. The other thing that happened was I obviously had a sport front wheel drive Honda CRX that I crashed a little while ago. And I love that car, and I super want to get back into racing again. And I maybe encouraged him to buy a lot of parts that were pretty expensive on that pro like front wheel drive type level. And I think I needed to like step back a little bit and think about it, how it would be for a first time race car driver's perspective. And what he really needs is some time driving and learn how to actually, you know, handle this kind of a car. So we kind of dialed back our expectations. Instead of trying to build a full sport front wheel drive car, we are just trying to put together a car that will go on the dyno and make some horsepower and we can take to the track. So in the last couple of days we started talking about it and brainstorming how could we just get this thing ready to go. We've already spent quite a bit of money with all the parts that we have, like what were the pieces that we needed to fill in the gaps to get it ready. And we're kind of brainstorming and coming up with that list right now. But in the meantime, Joseph and John were here, and they're pretty excited about it as well. So they decided to help us start stripping down the engine bay and kind of working on it. So this won't be like the main focus of any of our vlogs for now, really, but when we're working on it, we might just show you what we're doing so you have an idea of what it takes to set up, like, you know, a Honda Civic for drag racing. So anyway, check it out. I'll show you what they're doing right now. Okay, so this pile is what has just come out today from the engine bay. We got like an impact bar, power steering lines, radiator, these old like Hasport motor mounts, the air conditioning stuff, leftover plastic pieces, brake booster lines. Oh man, the windshield washer, just so many things, so many things. The wiring harness is kind of sitting here hanging out the car. That's going to need some attention as well. And the only thing really left in it is the power steering rack and some brake lines and the fuel lines. And surprisingly enough, even those are going right now. So we're about to pull those out, and that way we can have like a fresh, clean bay, and we can power wash and get ready to decide what goes back in. The other thing I was going to mention is if you guys ever do this kind of a build and you want to be rolling around on these hubs without the hubs separating, what we're going to do right now is chop the actual axle and stick just an axle stub in here. So that way it'll keep the bearing like compressed together essentially. Because if you roll on this without the actual axle in there bolted on, the wheel hub will start to come apart. So we're going to bolt in some axle stubs, and then we can push the car in and out as we work on it. And yeah, I'll show you some more stuff in a minute. Dude, it's missing so many items. Alright, check it out. We finally pulled everything out. And it is basically just a bare engine bay with just the harnesses and nothing else. Even this power steering rack is completely disconnected. All the brake lines, fuel lines, everything gone. Even the clutch line and the brake booster, it's all gone. It's all getting replaced by different stuff or getting moved to a different location. Even the power steering rack, we are gonna delete it. Well, not really delete it. We're just gonna replace it with a manual one. But anyway, look at Elma. Look at all the progress we did today. Pretty good. Good job, dudes.
Thank you.
Okay, this is random, but we got a smart car, like a 2009, and he just wanted to know how much horsepower it makes. And pause this video, comment below, and let me know what you think it might make. I have one of these cars, so I'm really interested to see what his makes with an exhaust mod on it. And anyway, we'll get into it right now. Go ahead and do our dyno, but it's just a funny little car, huh? Get a couple tenths of each other. Don't mind us, we're just gonna force air into this little side vent right here and make it act like boost. Alright, so, just to let you know what it made, we did 2 dyno pulls. $57 horsepower. So I guess his exhaust didn't really help because I dynoed mine a while back, but you know, in my defense, mine only had like 10,000 miles on it when I dynoed, and it made 62 horsepower. What you got on that? So, look at the filter that they gave him for his intake. Just like, it's pretty small. It's so funny.
Next time.
Yeah, next time we'll do the intake test. A lot of people think these cars are like super small and that they don't fit anybody. But they do. They're actually like kind of super tall. It's hard to tell, but based on the height of the seat, like my dad's like 6'3", and he has my, excuse me, he has my car right now, and he fits in it like perfectly good. He's like 230, like 6'3", you know, no issues like driving it, you know, daily. These cars are super fun. I feel like they need a little bit more power. That's kind of why he's here. He wants to do some stuff, tinker with it a little bit, and see what he can figure out. There's a lot of companies that claim gains, but they don't. I don't think they deliver. So we're putting to the test. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. Hope you guys like that. All right, we got the freaking Silvia back on the dyno, and we finally got the right size turbo guard. Looks pretty nice. And we are installing another boost controller because the first one we bought, it died after a very short amount of use, which was kind of a bummer. But we're putting a new one on now, and we'll see if we can get the boost to go up and actually put down a respectable number. So hang tight, let's get some dynoing going and see what happens on this sucker. Okay, we went ahead and got that boost controller installed, the new one, after the old one failed, and I'm going to hook it up to the computer right now, and I'm going to turn it on at atmospheric pressure so that when we're just sitting here at idle, we can actually hear it click. If it does that, then we know that the problem is fixed. Okay, let's look at boost control options. It should just be clicking. I'm sitting here editing the video for the week, and I'm looking at these clips of Jose's Silvia dynoing, and there's just kind of a lot going on, so I didn't really give any context to what we were doing as far as like why we're retuning and what we're looking for. But we had some kind of like boost control issues. Like the last time we tuned, we could only get it to do like a certain amount of boost, and we realized the that the controller was kind of working for a while and then had just stopped working, which I kind of mentioned. But the funny thing was, we bought a new controller, and the new controller did the exact same thing. It didn't work. And I had really troubleshooted, like, or I had really double checked at least like all the wiring and everything like several times. Like the controller got power, and the other side of the wire just goes to the ECU, which sends a PWM signal, so like a pulse width out of ground essentially. And the ECU just never does that. So I thought, okay, maybe the file is corrupt, maybe it was something in the settings. But thinking about it, I mean, like literally nothing changed between when it like worked and didn't work. I have no idea. Like I don't know if you can like burn out a PWM, you know, control circuit in the AEM. I'm not like super familiar with the inside of the board, but maybe we're gonna call them today, see if we can figure that out. But it's I was just gonna point something out. Like if your car is super undershooting expectations, I mean by a lot, not just because it's on a different dyno and it makes a different number, every dyno is a little bit different, but if you're like way out of the realm, like I mean like 50 or 100 off maybe, you know, you gotta do some more investigating. After looking into stuff, we found a couple things. We found like a small vacuum leak between the controller and the wastegate, which was creating, it was actually making boost go up. So once we fixed that, it regulated it correctly and went right down to like wastegate spring pressure. So, man, I don't really know. The bad thing about an efficiency leak, like as far as boost or wastegates are concerned, is if the wastegate does weird things, you could be bleeding off efficiency like the entire run, and all your power could be bleeding out the wastegate. Wastegate issues is probably like the number one problem in either blowing a car up or making no power, like almost all the time. Turbo efficiency is a thing too, but most turbos will make at least 10 horsepower per pound of boost, even the eBay ones. And this one should make like, you know, much more than that. So I think that once we get this sorted out on that car and the wastegate's working correctly, I think it's gonna make a lot more power, like a ton more actually. So hopefully we'll figure that out in the next couple of days and I'll let you guys know. But like, you know, right now, you know, bleeding off some efficiency, it's making 310 horsepower. It's like, it's not too bad. But I can tell that it's coming in late and the gate's not staying closed like it should. So if we can't figure out the controller, then we're gonna do it old school and we're just gonna put a heavier spring in it, because that'll definitely make the boost come up. So we'll have to see how it goes. Okay, back to editing. And we're probably gonna show a clip of, you know, the smart car next, because he came back to re-dyno. It's good. Okay, the smart car's back again, and we were trying that small little air filter and the new intake arm, and we actually picked up some horsepower.
Yeah, 2 horsepower, 2 foot-pounds of torque.
I guess it's something. We were kind of skeptical, but 59 instead of the 57 we made the other day, and 56 foot-pounds of torque. I guess that's something. Does it sound better?
It sounds better, but it's kind of drony at highway speeds. Loud.
I think it sounds better. Mine's so quiet I can't even hear it, but I'll show you guys what it looks like real quick so you can see at least the parts that you can see of the intake. Let's see if we can see it. There it is right there. This is his little super small throttle body. It's super small. Comes off to this little pipe right here, goes into this kind of like, what's like almost like a resonator body, and then out to the filter, basically?
The filter's inside of
Or
here.
is the filter inside there? Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, filter is small enough to fit inside of that little thing, and then this just goes to the ducting?
Yeah.
So this is after the filter. Okay. Pretty cool. It looks nicer than the factory intake at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so after looking at this overlay, it pretty much made power, it made torque over the entire graph, and at like one point at like 5,500 it kind of crosses, they're like about the same here, and then it continued to make more power all the way out. So the entire graph is improved from the intake, which means that that small filter worked. Crazy. We're still gonna try one more thing though. I'm sure you guys are gonna be sick of smart car stuff, but we're just gonna try like a different arm and a drop-in K&N air filter, right?
Yes.
Okay, and we'll see if that makes more. Who knows? All right, that pretty much wraps it up for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. All the people that watch this, like every time I put a video out, you should comment below. Let me know what you want me to put in the video like next week. I'm doing some G35 dynoing. I have the roll cage that I'm putting into that 350Z. I'm sure Jose will be back on the dyno. We're trying to figure out his boost controller. We will be making some progress on the Honda Civic, and that's probably about it. Early the following week, we're gonna pull the Panda Z in and start figuring stuff out for his rear-mounted twin turbo kit. But that's pretty much all the stuff. So any of that seems interesting to you, let me know. The other thing I could do too is that I could really try to like nudge Yari to hurry up and get the last few parts for his turbo build, and we could start on the RSX turbo. But I mean, whatever. Like I just go to work and like have fun and do things. So if you want to see any of that stuff, let me know. If you want any more welding stuff, I can put some of that in. Constantly welding. So all right, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.